Hello everyone, welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are joined by the home hero, Heisler. Welcome. Yesterday, very interesting on strategy. There was two ways to go. I think it was maybe a little bit tainted with the damage that you had, and it could have worked a lot better. What is that strategy, and what's the alternative if it would even work?
I would say it's medium softs is the best strategy, because the softs can take quite a long while, and the only tire that actually wears out on this track is the front left tire. So you have to be smooth in the right handers, so you don't use them too much. But that didn't work out just today, VSC, and indeed the damage. But I would say that's the best strategy to go.
Indeed. Alright, thank you very much for that. Sorry for the lag, but we did get to hear what you said there. That is lag on my end, so hopefully you're all fine. You don't need to sort anything out. We've currently got Spieth on pole and 9.457, but they're looking to improve once again, going through into turn 9, missing the apex a little bit, but as they go through turn 10, it seems like they've got themselves back together. A bit of natural oversteer, which seems nice, but you've got to be careful that it doesn't go too far. They're currently dead on their time at the moment. They go through 12 on the exit, bit of understeer, and I think, I say they back off. No, it was actually just a bit of lag. We continue to have some more issues, so we might have to restart the stream in a little bit. As they go around the final corner, DRS is open and across the line to try and set an improvement. It's going to be a lap that will not be enough, and they will stay where they are. Jericho Willis is very close, and they're looking to try and close up. We've got Verf 9.5 at the moment. They're looking to try and get a move here as well. Never mind.
Yeah, what I could tell from
Spieth.
What I could tell from Spieth's end of the lap, he was wide indeed in that arena section, the second apex of it, and then he was really low on the battery coming to the line. So I would say he's probably losing out because of that. This is one of those tracks where it really benefits if you put your ERS to medium in some corners, because you will save a lot for the rest of the track.
Alrighty. We will quickly restart the stream. I do apologise for the delays. We will be back in a few moments. Alright, we're back. Sorry for the delay. Hopefully that's all the issues sorted, but it seems like maybe not. Never mind. We're going to try and get through qualifying if we can do. Rendering wise, it seems absolutely fine. It just means that connection wise we're having incredibly severe issues. I'm not entirely sure why. But yeah, we'll see in a little bit. Spieth currently going out once again and hoping to try and defend that pole position. It's not a massive margin at the moment. Heisler, how important is qualifying around this circuit?
It's just not as important on the whole game, in my opinion. As you saw yesterday, I didn't really have a bad launch of the line, but if you are on the inside as P2, it's quite easy to just send it on your inside. And what I was thinking, it doesn't really matter if you go P1, 2 or 3 into the first corner or after the first corner. It's more at managing the rest of the race, which is really important on this game.
Indeed, I think it is, and ERS is a lot more aggressive, which could promote some overtaking. Hopefully we can have some good racing. We had some pretty good racing between Verf and Jericho Willis for the win. That was tainted by a very unfortunate time penalty for Verf, but around this circuit it's not quite the same, is it, Hushlet, with the big curbs that do save you a little bit. That being said, if you do ride on them, you could have a pretty severe issue for your race.
Yeah, talking about riding on the curb, Spieth was all over the exit curb of, what is it, like the second corner of sector 2? Yeah, so that exit curb where you can, when you run over it, it's hard to get off it, and he was fully running over it. I don't know how he kept it still on track, but yeah, these curves are deadly, and you really have to consider it nearly every corner where you place your car. I had quite a lot of moments in turn 12 yesterday where I just had to lift a lot to not run onto any curb to stay in the train.
Yeah, it's a tough one for sure. That was Spieth backing off on their lap, not happy with it. It is a short lap, so you can afford to go into the pit lane and come back out pretty late. So they are lucky that it's not Belgium, of course. I really do apologise for this. I'm going to hand it over to you, Heisler, and hopefully this can stop.
Yeah, it's a bit of a quiet moment now. Simonson is the only one on track, but obviously he can't set a lap yet right now because he is a higher tier driver. So he will just probably drive around the track, do some testing, see how the grip is for the race, and yeah, it's what I also always do is just a set of softs and fill the tank up to 10 laps usually, and then just keep on driving the track, see how the softs feel after like 10 laps, and if they are actually feeling good I use them in the race, but if they don't then I just ignore them for the race. But it helps with preparing for the race when you are not allowed to set a lap. Jericho will be the first one to set a lap for the last run, so let's see if he can snatch away the pole from Spieth.
The championship leader for both the teams and the drivers, as only one driver from each constructor or team last time around in Austria actually finished the race, so they both have 20 points ahead of Sauber and Verf in P2. Jericho Willis heads to turn 1. They've got some good experience from yesterday, so they should be strong. They've actually got the battery off, so are they going for another warm-up lap? Is that really a good idea around here?
I found out yesterday as well that my tires were around 80 degrees starting the lap, and you want to have them on this track. So it might be an idea, but the wear will be a bit higher, so I'm not sure what's the best way. I've never tried to do 2 warm-up laps.
Indeed. I think there were definitely possibilities for a circuit like Austria. We've seen that happen in previous games because it's quite difficult to warm up the tyres. I've seen it also in Brazil, but I haven't really seen it around this circuit, I don't think. So it will be an interesting one to see if they can really go for this pole time. Spieth obviously trying to give it a shot for the pole, but they haven't started their final lap just yet. Verf has done so, so they will be setting this as their next lap. And they are on a lap, so they've gone pretty early for that one, but at least they're going to get a clean lap in with no problems ahead. A purple middle sector as they go to improve on their current time around the final few corners. Not quite getting to the exit curve, but as long as it's tidy and they get an improvement in, they'll be good to go to defend their current pole position. It's not going to be enough by just a tiny margin in the end. That is a little bit tragic there at the very final moments. It's an interesting position to try and disqualify your car, but I guess at least it's done. Hopefully no one gets any problems. That is the Red Bull of Rare Winter who will start their lap.
Yeah, again with Spieth, and the end of the lap he lost out because of his ERS. So I'm not sure if he will look back at this race and think, oh, I should use my ERS in a better way. But that is first now taking pole with a 9.1, a great lap by him. Only 5/10 of the pole of yesterday, so that's a great lap from him.
Brilliant job there. Sauber on top at the moment. Jericho Willis comes around the final corners. What can he do here in Zandvoort? The second race of the season. They will bump ahead of Spieth, but only by a tiny margin in the end, and they will not be able to get there. We've got Rare Winter, who will complete a lap very soon. We've got Barrel, who will finish their qualifying. Up to P5 they go, ahead of the Red Bull driver. The Red Bull will try to attack once more and get ahead. Bread is cool. They're going around. They're trying to get a final lap in. If they can get themselves up there, that would be great. These two were teammates last time around. Rare Winter around the final corner. DRS up to the line. It's going to be a P6. They'll stay where they are after a very small improvement. Brothers Cool and Fireball Fury. That is Brothers Cool backing off. Fireball Fury trying to get that little improvement to see if they can start the race ahead of the car of Samaxon, of course. What's it going to be? Oh, they go in the grass. That's going to cut their time massively, and they will not improve. They were 12 seconds back anyway. And that is Terrence, actually. I didn't realise they've joined the lobby and they put it in P4. A brilliant job from them in between the two Ferraris, but Verf is on pole.
Yeah, great lap by Verf there, and great lap by Jericho as well to snatch a P2 there. We have seen it at Austria that Verf has great quality pace, but let's see what the race will bring.
Verf takes pole, Jericho Willis P2, Spieth in P3. That's the rest of the grid. This is the race director. We will restart the stream and we will be back in a bit. Ready, hold, go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We're away. It's Verf on the outside line. It's, I was going to say Heichler, Jericho Willis to the inside. It's not going to happen for Jericho Willis as Verf has got the grip around the outside. There's a Ferrari off into the gravel. That's Spieth with a brilliant qualifying going to waste. Terrence will get to P3 because of that one, and his teammate will get into P4. That is Devon Young, Tom Robb, Samaxon already up, as that is Fireball Fury having an issue on the exit of 4. It's not going to work out too well for them. Everybody else is currently in the train. Spieth is luckily still in the pack at the moment, and there's a lot of cars that are very close to one another. Not quite in attacking range just yet, but DRS will kick in very soon, and we will be able to see some moves, maybe into the first corner. This is a very heavy braking zone. You still carry a lot of speed into the bank section, which does allow a lot of grip when you get in there, but no, the other Ferrari's going to have an issue, and Barrel goes down to P6, and they're going to cause a bit of a train as Devon Young is right behind him. Would they try and go for a move early on? I don't quite know. I think they're going to wait behind. DRS range is still available for them for now, so they just have to try and get the momentum back up if they do want to make it work. But that is Verf leading the way on the second lap with a fastest lap to add to that, of course, as they are setting the lap first. But it's going to be DRS available for Jericho Willis first out of anyone. one. It's going to be brothers called Samaxon switching positions as brothers called tries to make a bit of progress. That will not be a safety car, just to confirm that one right there. Zora has a little bit of a gap between the car ahead. Terrence has got 6/10 to the top two. They need to try and find a bit more. Rare Winter is ready to make that move. We're going to have a look at the tyre situation actually, because it could be a little bit interesting. We've got Rare Winter, Zora, Barrel and Jericho Willis all on the softs. Mediums here for the rest of the grid. What would you want to start on, Heischler? Mediums or softs?
The softs will help you with getting a great launch off the line, but the mediums I would say is a better starting tire, since the softs will die off quicker with the high fuel level. So the mediums are better, I would say, and when there is a safety car, you can still choose to go to the hards or choose to go to the softs. I would say you're more flexible.
Indeed. Alrighty, let's see what can happen here. That is going to be Jericho Willis for the lead. It's going to be around the outside for Rare Winter. They're trying to get the grip. They're still going to stick their nose in, but that is a brilliant defense right there from the Hong Kong driver. Awesome job to stay ahead, and they still have the DRS, but no, it's all of a sudden go terribly wrong. Rare Winter's going to get damage as Terrence loses the car on the exit of the bank corner, and that's going to be tragic. It's going to be an opportunity right now for the top two to break away, unless Zora can get through and use this soft tyre, but it's going to be a difficult one. They have to send it on the inside line now or never. The Red Bull's going to back off and let people go through as they're incredibly frustrated. There's going to be more contact as that's going to be Barrel into the wall. It will allow their teammate to go ahead, but that's not what they want at all. Damage there to another car. Terrence is very lucky to not have damage because, well, they hit on the rear. That's going to be a very slow moving Red Bull as they're trying to make it through the corners, but Terrence just had to wait behind. They'll be able to make that move eventually. That might have been damage to the back of Terrence's car. A little bit did seem to fly off. That's an end plate missing for the Haas driver as the Red Bull does go.
Yeah, it's now nearly 3 wide going into turn 1, but they think better of it. It's still side by side for Cool and Simoxon. Let's see if Simoxon does keep his wing clean. He does. He is a high driver, so he's not going to intervene too much, I assume, in the battles. But I want to point out to the start of Devon as well. He has had 2 laps and he's already up 8 places, so that's 4 overtakes in a lap, and that's a virtual safety car for now, and I don't know why.
It is an interesting one. I'm going to go back here. We've got Fireball Fury with no front wings, so that would explain it. That would have been on the exit of turn 4, I believe. So, virtual safety car is deployed. Everybody can relax a little bit. Can get a good restart. They might be able to get close to Jericho Willis and Verf, who are very quick at the moment, but it wouldn't be easy. Maybe if Zora works together with Devon Young, the higher tier driver, they will be able to catch up. That's probably a very, very good idea. Devon being very quick. That's some interesting lag, it seems. I think Devon's going to have to back off. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I really do apologise, but the lobby is just all over the place. And we seem to have a few issues. Now it's stabilised again. It really doesn't make any sense. I have no explanation for this. I wish I could. Usually I have some sort of idea, but no, there is no explanation for it. So we're going to just try and wait it out and let things go through. I'm sure that they can still see each other quite well on track, so that's important. Fireball Fury goes into the pit lane. They do go a little bit too fast, unfortunately. Whether they went in on intentionally to retire the car, or if they've accidentally gone into the pit lane a little bit too fast, I think they've done it by accident, as it can be very easy to do so. Around this circuit with the bumpiness of the pit lane entry, there's contact with Devon Young and Zora on the under safety car conditions just before we went to green flags, and it means a 10 seconds.
I can confirm that I didn't saw any contact between them, so I'm a bit confused on how we got a 10 seconds. Yeah, I think it's lag or a bug. So I'm not sure if that's penalty, but that ruined definitely race either way, because you will serve it in the pit lane, so that's not ideal. But maybe he can help out Sora still by trading DRS and get closer to the top 2.
Alright, I really do apologise for these issues. We're going to get Devon Young going to the inside line on Zora. There's a little bit of contact as I think they're possibly a bit confused at where each other are on track. I believe Zora's having connection issues last time around in Austria, so it might be that we have to take a look. No, it wasn't Austria, sorry. It was the last race of the season, last season in Silverstone. Hopefully that's all fixed, and I really don't understand what is going on with the lag issues. It was happening before we started the live stream, so it does mean that there's some sort of issue apart from the live stream, and the live stream's just being affected by it. So I really do apologise, but there is nothing that we can do at the moment. We're just going to have to let things be. That is Jericho, Willis and Verth holding on nicely ahead of the other cars, working together for the second weekend in a row, and to try and make it a little bit easier for them to break away. But Devon Young is very quick. They don't have any damage, just a little bit of lack of momentum, maybe possibly from that 10-second penalty being unfairly applied. We've got Terrence, who does have damage, and they've got a big train behind them.
Yeah, at the moment, these top two and then the P2, 3 and 4 are just working together both. But I'm interested to see how this actually will go longer into the stint, into the... what Jericho will think about this and maybe go longer, try and be stronger on the mediums later on. But you still want to pit quite a lot earlier than the medium runner, since you want to have that undercut. So we have somewhat of an advantage.
Ooh, and Zora goes off on circuit and then spawns in front of Devon?
That was on you, not on my screen.
Okay. Well, it went completely off into the gravel, spun the car, and then spawned back in front of Devon Young from my screen. So I really do apologise for this. Lap 7 out of 36. We're going to try and do one more thing to fix this, and we will be back in a bit. Stops. This could be interesting. Hard tyres, do you think, Eichler?
Yep, hard tires definitely, but oh no, Jericho is staying out. That's not the call. I think he just ruined his strategy right here. Except if some people are staying out as well, but the hard tires would make it to the end, even though it's hard on the left front, like I said earlier. So I'm not sure if this was a smart idea for Jericho. Now, at this moment, I would say stay on the strategy you have now. Don't pit anymore, because you will just be behind everyone if you pit now.
Oh, that's really, really sad. Spieth has disconnected from the session, and the game, still with the bug, has retired them from the race. So that is going to be a really, really disappointing result for the Ferrari driver. Why? Why? Why is that a thing? How is that a thing? It doesn't make any sense. I'm really sorry, guys. This is it's nothing to do with the lobby. It's just to do with the game. There's nothing we can do about it. We've just got to pray. Now, an interesting call there. Rare Winter onto the soft tyres. Is that even going to work?
Wait, I didn't even notice yet. No. Well, yes and no. It could work, but you have to create a gap to all the hard runners. I believe everyone else is on the hards. Yes, they are. So I don't think that's the right call, since you have to overtake literally everyone and create a gap, and then go to the mediums again and try to overtake everyone again. So it's not one of the easiest tracks to overtake at. So I don't think this was the right idea for Rare Winter, and Jericho decides now to pit as well, and I don't think that's a great idea either.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a bit of a panic pit right there as they trying to make the best out of a bad situation. So they do go in. They were definitely assuming that if they had maybe a bit of an inkling of staying out, then surely the harder compound tyre of that medium tyre would be staying out as well. But nope, they didn't. You have to be lucky that other cars stay out and creates a wall between you and the rest of the fresh tyre runners, but that didn't happen. The benefit that they have now is that they are on the freshest tyres, along with Rare Winter, who tries to amend their original call, and Barrel also going to be on some pretty fresh tyres as well. Terence has got the oldest, as they were already on that hard tyre, but more importantly, they're back in this race with a, I'm going to say, repaired wing, and they do have a repaired wing, so that's great to see. Lots of cars all back into the battle here. We've got Verf leading the way, speeding in the pit lane though, and they get that 10-second time penalty. Unfortunately, Zora right behind in P2, originally starting on the softs, now making it a very, very good P2 on the hards, equal with everyone around them.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the 10-second penalty. Now both championship leaders are in not the best position. So Spieth, I believe, was in P3, so he's out as well. I'm not sure who's in P4, but this is for them a great opportunity to close in a lot on the top 3.
I'm going to say who's in P4 in the championship. It's Rare Winter.
Oh.
So all of the
P5?
So all of the championship point scorers from last time around actually are in very bad positions. So if you're not in the championship fight, then you're probably going to be doing all right now. It gives a chance for a very mixed up situation. A safety car and a virtual safety car already, however, would suggest that maybe Verf will be able to serve that time penalty a little bit later on, which could work out. But they've got a lot of pace in that car, so they could be in a very strong position themselves.
I am think you left the lobby.
Okay, is the race all good still?
Yes, it's still going.
Okay, cool. Right, I will try and rejoin. I do apologise for the delays here. And hopefully we'll be all good to go. Very frustrating. But just a few moments and then we should be back in once again. It should not take long at all.
Yep.
And
just in time for the safety car restart.
Lovely. And we'll be good to go. Right, I'm not going to waste any time with putting a intermission overlay on. I am just going to share the screen and hopefully we don't have any more issues. But right now it's, yeah, impossible. I don't know what happened in the last few updates, but we've had issues regardless of internet. It seems that my internet isn't really an ideal factor, but because we had issues already, yeah, it's a confusing one. Alright, here we go. It is Verf in P1 to lead the safety car. Zora will be reacting. Who's going to get it into the first corner? Who's going to react the best? Verf goes right now. It's going to be Zora reacting. Okay, they're not going to have a chance into the first corner, but they're still nice and close. That is the benefit. We're going to have the Williams to the inside line, just forcing Brenner's call to go for a bit of a defensive throw, as they don't want to allow the higher tier driver to go through just yet. They want to see if they can fight a little bit. They do actually have a higher tier driver in front of them as well, so maybe things could change, as we've got on the inside line already Devon Young trying to give it a go, but they didn't quite get there. Now they're actually on the inside. According to the lag, they weren't. Now they are. Now it's not going to work. They have to back off, and Brenner's call is going to stay right there. Verf holds on to that lead, but Zora is very close.
Yeah, and at the back, P7 and P8 switched around. Barrel overtook Psycho, whilst now Rare Winter is taking a look at Psycho as well, but Psycho or Terence is defending that one well. And in Rare Winter overtook Jericho in turn 4, I believe it is, the banked corner, around the outside, which was a really nice move as well. So it's a lot of switchers around, but this is not ideal for our championship leader.
Yep, it's a really, really bad situation for them. We've got Terence and Rare Winter very close to one another again. They've already come together so far this race. We've got Rare Winter going to the inside. They go back into the slipstream. They're going to have another go. We're going to get the Williams also going for that move. That's the inside line for the Red Bull. I think that's going to be an easy maneuver. It's going to be Devon Young to the inside. They tried to give it a go. Brenner's call was giving a bit of resistance, but he eventually does go through. That is Barrel very, very, very close to the back back end of the car in front, but they didn't cause any issues. It's going to be side by side here with Sir Maxon, and was that Devon Young or was that Zora? I'm not quite sure, but in the meantime, 7/10, Verf is trying to make a bit of a run for it.
It was Devon and Simonson battling it out to higher tier drivers, so I would say they are fine to drive against each other. They just have to keep it clean against the other drivers and not intervene too much in their battles. But yeah, Turco in the meantime was 7/10 away of this train, but catched back up again. So I would say he's still in this race and able to make his way up the field again.
Very much so indeed. The train is strong, everyone is together at the moment, and that's how you can make some slow progress but good progress and still be within the fight until the very end. That is Zora looking to the inside just for a moment. We get Tom Robb maybe having a go, but no, they didn't quite get there. 7/10 of Bredder's call to Devon Young. They need to try and find a little bit more if they do want to stay with the cars in front. Could it be possible getting their first ever podium in LSI F1.5, in LSI actually as well, around this circuit last time around this season, and it's not going to be too easy to do that again, but we'll see. They're in a good position to try and replicate it. Devon Young trying to navigate the situation as they've got Zora just up in front. They don't want to cause too many issues for Zora. They also want to stay ahead of Sir Maxon, who they have passed recently.
Yeah, interesting choices from both Simonson and Devon. I believe both of them decided to overtake one another on the exit of turn 4, going into the Skyblock. So that's interesting that they decide to overtake one another there. But they kept each other alive, so I would say it's fine.
Yeah, Verf hasn't been able to break away. That's another failed attempt, the second weekend in a row to break away from the DRS fight. It's going to be Devon Young looking to go to the inside line. It's going to be Zora, though, who wants to have a go, but they have to back out as Devon goes for it. Devon's going to now be in P2, and Zora, using all of that battery, will not be rewarded at going to the inside line and having an opportunity for P1. They're going to have a few questions on that one, of course. I think Devon Young wants to just try and get through and see if they can clear the rest of the track. Verf is possibly going to fight it, however, as they're maybe not aware that it is a higher tier driver that they're fighting. But to be honest, if you want to take the control of the race, then you can take control of the race. They're doing exactly what they should be doing at this stage. But Devon Young will try and go for a move on the DRS, and then Verf can work together with a higher tier driver if they can stay close and maybe get a good result. Not what you really should do, but it's something that you can do, and it's something that you have to play to. When you're racing against higher tier drivers, that's going to be a bit of contact with Sir Maxon and Zora. Tom Robb had a quick look, it slowed up the pack, and now Brothers Call is right on the back of that Williams.
Yeah, I must say, I don't think it's smart from Verf that he didn't let Devon by earlier. Now he does, and let's see if he's able to keep Zora behind, which I think he is. Wait, Simonson now sending it on the inside of Zora. Great move by Simonson, and he kept it clean, so fair enough to him. Yeah, great overtake.
Yep, lovely stuff indeed. Now Devon Young, Sir Maxon both making progress. Sir Maxon's going to try and follow his fellow F1 tier driver as well, as Devon has already got 6/7 gap, so they are really trying to push it and not like kind of show off, but more just get out of the way of the other cars and have the least impact possible on the championship. Unfortunately, that's Terence down the order, also Tom Robb down the order as well. Jericho Willis and Tom Robb are going to be switching positions. Maybe that was a yellow flag bug right there that Jericho had to give up the position. It will give an opportunity for Terence to get back into this DRS train. They really have to push if they do want to make that work. It's not going to be easy at all. But yeah, the train is separating a little bit, and it's very, very complicated at the moment. Zora may be a little bit off on the momentum after losing those two positions. They still have the DRS. Lots of cars are still in DRS at the moment. It's not going to be Sir Maxon making the move this time around. It's going to be a brilliant hold on from Verf to get the DRS and stick with the Williams.
Yeah, and in the background, Rare Winter overtook Barrel, I believe Barrel lost ERS or a DRS to School, so that's why Rare Winter was able to overtake him into turn 1, and now he's under pressure of the higher tier driver Tom, which he was on the outside of turn 1 on Barrel, but he thought better of it and didn't want to take him out or anything or make contact. So, oh, it's Tom around now. He lost it into the turn 12.
Yep, very unfortunate. That was turn 8. That's going to be an issue there for the Ferrari immediately, as Barrel will go round. I don't know if it was lag or I don't know what happened there. All of a sudden they're back in it. I think that is a severe bit of lag, and it's taken out the marker board, at least on my screen, so I do apologise for these issues. -5/10 it says at the moment, so that is incorrect. Rare Winter is in DRS range. Barrel is just about in DRS range, I think they are. It doesn't bring Terence back into DRS. It gets DRS from Tom Rob, of course, but Tom has got to try and catch up if they want to bring everyone else into the train. Zora has lost DRS to Sir Maxon, and now they will be pressurised by Breda's Call as Verf breaks away and looks to try and work together with the higher tier drivers and minimise the impact of this 10-second time penalty, if not completely remove the impact. Now we continue, and I do apologise for the lag issues that we just experienced there, but we should be back now for a few moments until we inevitably get more issues again. Incredibly confusing stuff today. That is Barrel now clearly on track in that P7 position right there in DRS range of Rare Winter, as Tom Rob has made a bit of progress, but they're about to encounter the second, or the main DRS straight I should say, as they just go through the second DRS straight. They do lose a little bit of time. They regain it in a couple of corners, but watch this, it's going to change massively, and it's not going to be easy to deal with at all. 1.7 seconds, this massive DRS train that is led by Zora, who goes defensive on the McLaren as Breda's Call tries to make it work. They try and push the Aston Martin nice and wide. They get the move done. That is a brilliant move, and they are P2 for the current tier drivers, and they're actually P1 if you look at the time penalty situation. So Breda's Call currently on to possibly get their first race win after getting their first podium in LSI this time around last season. That would be a hell of a story for sure, but Zora is definitely going to have something to say about it and try and come back through at some point soon. Look at that gap, 2.1 seconds that Tom Rob now has. No fault of their own. It is just unfortunately a difficult situation with DRS this game.
Yeah, I'm trying to calculate a little bit if it's possible for Verf to create a 10-second gap to the cars behind. I would say it might be possible at the end of the race that he finishes somewhere where Rare Winter or Barrel is now, but looking at the gap, I'm not sure if he will gain enough in the 17 laps we still have to go. So we'll have to wait to see with Rare Winter now overtaking Zoras on the straight, and Barrel doing the same. I don't think... yeah, everyone is out of ERS, so I believe they were just spamming the ERS button so they could overtake, with still Barrel going on the inside of that fast turn and then taking the switch back on Zora Winter. What is... Oh, it is in the side of Zora.
What a shame. A brilliant, brilliant move that was just, in the end, not going the right way. What a shame. That would have been an absolutely phenomenal move to pull off. Now they do have end plate damage. Not impossible, as we saw yesterday, to still stay in a train, but it's not going to be easy at all, is it? It's going to be a tough one. Rare Winter, by the way, making that double overtake on Zora and Breda's Call. That was phenomenal to see on the banking section. Jericho Willis is going to be looking to make the move on Barrel at some point if they can do so, but just misjudging the braking point as they lock the rears and do lose a bit of time right there. They've got to be careful that that doesn't happen again. Zora, would they try and go for the double overtake here? on the main straight. Would Brothers Cool try and make that move once again on their teammate from last season? Their fellow countryman defends to the inside line. Brothers Cool's to the outside line. They're going to go side by side into turn one. It's going to be very wide, and they're going to lose the position to the Canadian. At least they're going to go side by side. Are they going to still try and stick it to the inside? They will not have the chance. That is a brilliant move right there, spotted by Zora as they see a mistake from the McLaren, who was ahead and now is behind. Barrel still holds on, and Jericho Willis, the championship leader, still is stuck in P8.
Yeah, Brad School just touched the grass on the entry of turn one, just like I did yesterday as well, but he didn't do it as much as I did. He didn't went completely off, as you saw in the stream yesterday. So he just kept it in, and Sora could live another day.
Yeah, indeed. Now, we do see Tom, Rob and Terence catch up nicely as these guys do fight each other a little bit. This fighting also helps the Ferrari massively, of course, so that definitely makes a difference. But as these guys do fight, it does allow Verf to break away a little bit, and they might even be on target to make this work, as the two higher tier drivers do actually get ahead and actually switch themselves as well. So 5 seconds, lap 22, I think it really is on here. If the cars behind do fight, the cars behind have to not fight. You have to try and find the balance of fighting to get position, but also not allowing Verf to go that much further, because the difference between P1 and P2 is 4 points. The difference between P2 and P3 is 2 points. So that advantage that you can really get is massive. Right now, they're not doing enough, and they need to work together and be civilized. But if they're going to go side by side into turn one again, then they can say goodbye in just a few laps' time. I think it could be possible. We've still got a long way to go in this Grand Prix. 10 seconds, of course, I will remind you, is on Verf's name at the moment. They've lost the RS range potentially from the higher tier drivers right now, and that could actually sway everything completely. So maybe, just maybe, scratch exactly what I've just said, and it could all change.
Yeah, now it's purely on pure pace, and I don't know who is quicker, Rare Winter or Verf in race pace, but now, if they work together in this long train, they can actually easily catch up to Verf, but I'm not sure if they will. At the moment, they are keeping it civil this time into turn one, and no one is trying to overtake anyone. I would say Jericho is one of the guys that actually should think about overtaking the car ahead, since he has wing damage as well, and it would help his championship later on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're P3 in the not in the championship, in the train, then you can really give it a good effort to go for a move, because you will automatically guarantee yourself DRS as long as you don't fight too hard, because you will be close to the next car in front. So really, Zora has got the most to think about. I would say maybe actually Rare Winter has the most to think about. Jericho Willis can go for a little bit more of an aggressive strategy. Unfortunately, Terence has dropped away from Tom Rob. Tom Rob is in the train, but yeah, they weren't able to hold on. Was it damage from Terence? I think Terence may have had a bit of wing damage, didn't they? So that's possibly explaining that one. They're just trying to hold on, currently looking to score some points. That's going to be some Axel making that move, but we're looking at Zora, and we're looking at Rare Winter, as Zora's close to this time around. They're going to go defensive to the inside line. It's going to be Breda's Call to the inside of Zora, and they're going to try and make that move around the outside. Is it going to be possible to hold? No, surely not, but there's a bit of lag, and they continue. No, yes, the inside line is available, and Zora is surely going to have it up the hill. The outside line will be more beneficial in traction, but I think the advantage was just superior enough for Zora to be able to make that move, and that is going to gain a couple of tenths for Verf right there, as these cars all were going a bit defensive. That's going to be a very wide moment for Barrel. Jericho Willis didn't even need to make that overtake, as they've already got it.
I don't want to this, but well, stand for the amazing track to get overtake or battling for multiple corners in a row. But I am looking at the pace difference between Verf and Rare Winter as well, and it's similar. One lap Verf is quicker, but the other lap Rare Winter is quicker. So at the moment, it's not looking like Verf is able to get them away for 10 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. We've had the two higher tier drivers break away. That has meant that Verf hasn't had such an advantage. I do apologise for the slight weird movement, and it's going to be the two McLarens not fighting together. We're just trying to predict what's going on. They will stay in a civilised manner, looking to try and score some good points for the team's championship. That is very important, of course, in these early stages to get that momentum, so then you can focus on the drivers at a later point. That would be very important. Jericho Willis, it was in the fight for a fair few races until the end where they didn't quite get it, but they were definitely putting the pressure on. Now Verf is looking to try and take another win in their LSI career. Rare Winter trying to get their first one. So Zora says Brad is cool, but Jericho Willis did get their first victory in Austria last time around. So will we see a repeat winner? Will we see a brand new winner here in LSI? That would be absolutely awesome to witness, of course. We're going to see Rare Winter lead this train as they'll go down the start-finish straight. 5.6 seconds, another 10th gained, but now that DRS isn't available for Verf, they really aren't making enough time. So it was looking good for the Sauber car, but now it's going to be a bit more difficult. We still could see some battling that could change it a lot here in Zandvoort. We're going to get Zora closing up, but they've got more pressure from Bread is Cool, who sticks their nose in again, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Canadian driver has the grip, they have the momentum, and they have the position, and that was lag. That was very scary. I do apologise, but they were just heading straight for the barrier, and then all of a sudden they're back on the racetrack. That was very scary.
You even scared me. I was like, what happened? But
You have to watch it back. It's pretty impressive.
I can imagine what happened. Probably straight into turn 4, isn't it?
I can't really even remember what corner it was, if it was turn 1 or turn 4, but they were just making a beeline for the barrier on the exit of the corner, and it looked like their day was over. But no, they continue, and they're absolutely fine. So don't worry, and once again, I do apologise for these issues. We've actually got a 3/10th gain, 4/10th almost gain from Rare Winter in the meantime, as these guys haven't fought this time around. So, you know, if they don't fight, they can show each other that they could maybe all overtake Verf. That would be tragic for Verf's race, and that's going to be Tom Robb into the wall in the back corner. Surely that's a safety car.
Not yet. It's still not a safety car. It's still only a yellow flag in sector 3, I believe.
Wow.
It's no safety car.
That
Okay.
is very strange. I haven't seen that in a while. I've seen it before, so I'm not surprised, but I haven't seen that in a while. That is very sad to see Tom Robb out. It does mean that Terence gets the position, but as Tom Robb is a higher tier driver, it doesn't make a difference for Terence, as they would have been promoted anyway. They'll get 2 extra positions on this. So currently Terence is running P7 as it stands. We've got Rare Winter P2, we've got Verf P1 for the current tier drivers in the EU F1.5 Championship. We've got Zora looking to try and make that move and see if they can fight for this victory with that 10 seconds to Verf's name for speeding on the pit lane entry that they had. Devon Young was able to serve their 10-second time penalty from a collision with Zora, as they were able to do that in the pit lane under safety car. So that's why they don't have that time penalty anymore to their name. Now Zora's very close. The two McLarens are very close as well, so we could get some double overtaking right here into the first corner. Zora will back off and let things cool down, but it's going to be Jericho Willis making the move ahead of their teammate for the first time.
I was waiting for it. I was surprised that Brighter School actually used a lot of ERS to kind of defend from Jericho, but also attack Sora. But he finally realized that his teammate was behind him, and he might be in a better chance later on in the season to win this championship. So they finally worked together, and now Jericho has to save his ERS again to try and overtake Sora, so he can be second in this train.
Oh, and that's yellow there. Unfortunately, Barrow has dropped away from the DRS train, and that is going to be not their race over, but their race in a very compromised position. Now, Jericho Willis makes that move, maybe looking to say, you know what, I'm going to see if I can try and get ahead of Zora and then be in that P2 position on Rare Winter and then maybe get a second win of the season to extend their championship lead. That is definitely what they're looking for. In the meantime, 6 seconds now for Rare Winter. Verf has managed to put in a very strong lap and get a decent advantage. We're going to get Jericho Willis putting the pressure on and forcing Zora in an overtaking opportunity, but Zora doesn't want to make that move. Jericho Willis still backs off. They're all very slow on the middle part of the apex. Hopefully that's not damage for the McLaren. It doesn't look like it, at least visually, but it could still be physically a little bit off, as that was a fair hit.
I think Jericho didn't want to overtake yet because he's still somewhat low on ERS. I'm not sure what it is compared to the rest. It's low. Oh, it's a bit of lag for Zora. He was ghosted into Jericho. Interesting to see, but I think everything is still fine. He's still in the DRS train, so he's still good to go. But yeah, Jericho has the least amount of ERS in this train, except for Rare Winter, but Rare Winter is towing along this train all the time.
Yeah, they've got to do a little bit more to try and save. If they're in a train like that, you have a golden ticket to fill up that battery, of course. Lap 30 out of 36. As they will cross the line very shortly to make that. Zora not very close to make the move compared to previous laps, but they do have a lot of pressure here from Jericho Willis. Could we see a double overtake here on Rare Winter? 3 wide almost. Jericho knows that he's got a lot to lose. Once again, very slow as Rare Winter can control the pace of this train, and Zora just had to back off. Well, I say back off, they were forced to back off due to a little bit of contact with the car ahead. Hopefully they don't have any damage themselves, but that could be 2 cars in this train in a little bit of a compromised position. They've got to be careful it doesn't happen too many times, if again at all. So we'll see how that evolves later on. 6.6 seconds this time as Rare Winter proceeds to lose more time to Verf, who is doing a very good job at this time.
Yeah, I think Zora is actually managing this race quite well as well. I think he is trying to stay in the P2 position, since he probably knows this is the best position to be able to get this win in at the end of the race, if they are able to keep within the 10 seconds. But I think Jericho will put the pressure on lap after lap like he is right now as well.
Indeed. Alrighty, here we go. Rare Winter goes defensive again. They really want to make a statement on where they want to be in this train. They know that if they can stay ahead, it'll be good, but there's going to be contact, and that's going to be Zora going down. That is going to be Jericho making that clear move. Zora now down to P6. That was an interesting one. I don't quite know if space was left. I believe it was left. They just locked wheels a little bit, and they had to go off to avoid demon dragging. So good to stay on track eventually, and good to actually not spin it in the gravel, as they were traveling at a fair amount of speed right there, trying to stay ahead of the American, but they didn't quite get it. And now Jericho, and again, managed to make a free move, originally making that free move ahead of Barrel, who in the meantime has actually caught up quite nicely as these guys do fight, so they could be back in this. 7.1 seconds. Rare Winter loses more time once again, so they are definitely at threat. And now actually Rare Winter is all of a sudden 3/10 out of victory position, and Jericho Willis is the next best chance of getting that one. That is an interesting one. Where did they get that penalty? They're going to try and fight it back into turn 1. They're going to get a decent advantage, and they're going to make it side by side, but backing off eventually as Jericho Willis is now in the lead of this train, and by timing wise in the lead of the Grand Prix.
I'm not sure where he got that penalty. Did he go off into turn 1 on the exit there? I'm not sure if he did, but that could be a warning.
It would have. The penalty popped up on the end of the last lap, so it's
yeah, I know.
They would have extended turn 13. That's what it would have been. So they've gone a little bit too far on the exit curb. Maybe been stuck on it, that made them just kind of ride along it, and then they've been given a warning for that one. So very unfortunate. It's going to be Bredders Cool and Zora going side by side. There's a bit of contact. This could be DRS loss as Barrel catches back up and makes the move ahead of the Aston Martin, who's now down to P8, and there is a split in the pack now. Rare Winter and Jericho Willis will break away from Bredders Cool, Barrel and Zora. Barrel's going to make that move, and they are now to P6. Zora trying to have a look as as these three are going very, very close racing. It's not going to work out for the Aston, but that is a brilliant move right there from Barrel. Even if the other cars were coming together, they make that move, and now they've got to try and catch up if they can do so. Jericho Willis currently in a phenomenal position because they can work together with Winter, who has a time penalty, and they'll be very comfortable at this stage.
Yeah, but let's see if Jericho doesn't make the same mistake as yesterday Simoxon made, where he didn't. He stopped pushing since he knew Charlie had a penalty, which was unfair. It's still possible that the 3 seconds of Rare Winter is unfair. So if Jericho is smart, he is not really gonna overtake him anymore and just waiting until the last lap and not make the same mistake as I did on the run to turn 1 or the line, I mean.
Yep, if they watched it, they would have got some good information. Whether that's the case or not, I don't quite know. But they're going to have to try and use their instinct a little bit as well, as every situation is different. Jericho Willis to P4. They make that move ahead of Rare Winter. What's their plan? Are they going to just trade once again a little bit later on, or are they going to try and break away, as we saw from Verf earlier on in the Grand Prix, who didn't make it work? They weren't able to break away from that. Was Zora. And they were, was it Zora? I can't quite remember, who was then able to catch up nicely and be back into the race. Now, we'll see. Barrel currently 1.7 seconds. They're currently having a look at getting that P2. Verf could possibly get a position ahead of Zora, maybe. I think they've definitely got it over Terrence. They could maybe try and find a little bit more here. Could be possible. That's going to be Zora making a mistake, and they will have more issues. That's a loss of traction, and down the order they will go. They've got Terrence ahead, who doesn't actually have damage. They've just not quite had the good momentum that they needed. Bredders Cool and Barrel have to work together here to try and stay ahead of Verf's time penalty range, but Jericho Willis is pulling Rare Winter along with them, and they will be able to have a good chance at maybe even staying ahead of Terrence, and I think they will actually get a very good chance of doing it because they are currently ahead anyway. So yeah, it's going to be a shame that they'll lose a couple of positions probably with this time penalty, but not as much of a shame as it would be for Verf, who is just not able to match the pace of Jericho Willis in these final stages.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I'm rooting for anymore, because Jericho is kind of in a position to win this race if the penalty is fair, right, for Rare Winter, but Rare Winter can still somehow win his first race as well if the penalty is unfair. I don't know who I want to win.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to look at, and there are a lot of decisions to make. Could Rare Winter's time penalty be illegitimate? Could Verf's time penalty be illegitimate? I don't quite know. Only 2 cars out on track that do have time penalties, and we're about to start the final lap of the Grand Prix. We just quickly see Sir Maxon and Devon Young. They're trying to sort it out on track between them two. Verf will come around the final corner to start their final lap, but it's going to be Jericho Willis who's got to make a decision. Are they going to try and stay ahead, or are they going to let Rare Winter go? I think they're going to let Rare Winter go. I think they've learnt their lesson from yesterday, learnt from your lesson, that unfortunately learnt the hard way. That's going to be Barrel trying to hold on, but no, Bredders Cool will make that work. It's a switchback of dreams performed by Barrel, though. That is a phenomenal move. Will it be the right call to be ahead, though? Jericho Willis looking to save the battery and stay behind that Red Bull driver. These guys on very old hard tyres, but they should have no problems to get to the end of the Grand Prix. Who's going to get it here? Rare Winter has found a little bit of pace, and they might be able to do enough to stay ahead up to the line. They're going to try and get it on glory ahead of Jericho Willis. Up to the line, what's it going to be? But we're going to have a quick look at Devon Young and Sir Maxon, because why not? It definitely is worth having a quick look. Sir Maxon is ahead. They're looking to try and get the victory for the overall race, but it's not going to be enough from Devon Young as Sir Maxon takes victory in Zandvoort. Verf, P3 at the moment. Rare Winter is ahead. Will they be able to get it to work? I don't quite know. Jericho Willis, DRS for the final time. They're not close enough, Eichler. They're not close enough. It's not going to happen.
I think Jericho he is close enough. He will get it. He will get it on the line. Jericho won the race on the line.
Absolutely incredible. Bread is cool. Gets to P4 as Rare Winter was so close. The fighting between Barrel and Bread is cool did cause these guys, cause Barrel actually to lose out big time on Verf, which is such a shame. But a brilliant effort and a brilliant result for McLaren here. Absolutely awesome stuff right there. I do apologise. Sir Maxon takes the win. That's going to be Devon Young in P2 and Jericho Willis in P3. We've got Brothers Called Rare Winter, Verf, Barrel, Terrence, Zora, and then DNFing was Tom Rob, Speed, Fireball Fury, Heischler, and Verf, of course, down to P6 after that one. That's P4 for the current tier drivers. We're going to go through the race director as quick as we can. I do apologise for the background noise. I will hand it over to Heischler while I get this on screen.
Yeah, that's an amazing result for McLaren, and if that penalty is not right for Rare Winter, I believe it's not a 1-2 for McLaren, but at the moment it is one. So that's a great result for both championship leaders and a great start of their season.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that one. We'll see you in a bit for the post-race interviews. Hello everyone, welcome to the post-race interviews of the Dutch Grand Prix, and that was a brilliant race there. So Maxon, you got it in the overall race. How was that? That was a pretty, I was going to say straightforward, but I guess a little bit more of a intense race, I guess you could say, with the switching.
Yeah, firstly it was coming through the traffic, then when I was with Devon at the lead, we decided to fight a little, and at the end I managed to stay behind him for the last lap, overtook him with the DRS, and managed to keep enough ERS to finish it all to the line.
Yeah, it was a pretty straightforward one in that regard, but really well done. Maybe getting the result that you should have got in yesterday's race, but obviously that's not confirmed yet. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah, really good effort, and you do get the win eventually last season, missing out to Frantic in the end. But yeah, you did get it, so well done indeed, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much. Well done today. And we move on to Jericho. Jericho, that is a lovely victory right there. Strategy-wise, that was not quite so simple, was it?
No. Yeah. First, I just want to, say congratulations to Brad, my teammate. He did a great race and pushed it all the way to the end and was able to come home with, I guess, P2 with the current tier driver. So McLaren won too. That was awesome. So I'm really happy for him and proud of him because I know he didn't have much of a chance to prepare for this race. So big congratulations to him and a big thank you for some huge team points for us. Strategy wise, yeah, I suppose all I could do was laugh at the strategy because I was like fumbling when that safety car came out to come into the pits, and I was kind of like that frozen deer in the headlights moment. And as I was going by the pits, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm not going in there right now. And then it was just too late. And then from there, it was damage limitation and surviving. I didn't want to, well, first of all, I despise my pace on the hard tire. I wanted to stay away from it if I could. I did a little bit of running on it just if I got forced into this situation so it wouldn't be totally blind, but I just not much confidence in the car on the hard tire. Tried to get into a rhythm and tried to stay out of trouble and just about did that. A couple of little moments there. I tapped somebody on the back as they kind of, I think they were going in deep and they, dumped the throttle really fast to try to save it. And I couldn't react quite quick enough and bumped them. So I don't know what could come of that, but, hopefully they recovered pretty well from it, but we'll have to go back and look at it. Then it was just battling in that pack where I was at the back and just kind of waiting for people to make little mistakes and see if I could get ahead. And then, I think it was, I don't even know, I'm so tired now from that event, but I think it was Rare Winter in the end, just kind of trying to set up that last lap. He was quite quick in a straight line. I had a lot of pace on him in the corners, but his exits were good. His straight line speed was good, so it was tough. But I think in the end, my tire wear was a little bit better. So that last lap, the last couple of exits, he didn't have quite the exit that I had. And I think I had a little bit more ERS as well and the DRS. So I was able to make it work. And that was exciting to get it, just on the line. Not sure what happened to Verth today, but, I feel bad for him. Trying to get this championship going. It's got to be a tough day, whatever happened there. So, I hope he can keep his chin up and come back strong for the next one and we can get back to it.
You should be saying that you hope that he gets another P2 and you get another P1. But yeah, that's another victory this season. Really, really well done. I can't lie, I didn't think you'd have it when you go through the final sector because you were a little bit further back than I kind of expected. I think actually turn 7 you were quite far back, but you managed to bring it back and get it done with that DRS and ERS, massive overspeed at the end. So really well done, well planned out, and congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much. It was a good result in the end, but a pretty tough day. So gotta walk away with a smile on my face after that one. It could have been pretty poor in the end. So pretty happy.
Yeah, the close races are always the most rewarding. Well done today, Jericho, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we move on to Tom. Tom, it was a bit of a roller coaster. You lost the train, and then did you catch back up? And then all of a sudden there was a big off. I don't quite know what happened. We didn't quite get to see it, but off in the bank section there.
Yeah, it was a really, really bad crash. Like I also don't know what happened. I was open DRS and ERS and overtake going through there, like I often did in today and yesterday. And then for some reason I completely lost ground contact, and there was then just no chance. I was just flying. Yeah, for like I had really pace. Could have driven with Maxon and Devin, like we were pushing each other and teasing each other the race. Then just touching the grass at the bottom turn twice in 2 laps in a row, so losing a bit out of the train, managing to catch up. Yeah, and then that, I don't know if it's a mistake or don't know what, it's just really unlucky.
Sorry for that one, I just thought I'd unmute my mic. Yeah, it's a frustrating one and a shame to end the race in that way, but you gave it a good effort, and I want to say thank you very much for giving it a shot there and giving some good entertainment whilst you were in the race. But thank you very much, Tom. I've just muted my mic and I was talking. I am back, and I hope that I just made everything heard on my end. I said thank you very much, Tom. That's been it. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next weekend for the Singapore Grand Prix. Don't miss it. Bye-bye.